Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA.
Where we bring you hope and inspiration so you can start your day off the AFA way. And in case you have forgotten, we're here to remind you every single day. I am up here at Ossipee Lake in Freedom, New Hampshire with Green Nurse Denise. I take this book wherever I go. Seriously.
It's
It is,
traveling. It's
it,
getting
it,
around.
and to wake up every day and just to hear and just to realize and just to meditate on and just to see our accomplishments in this lifetime. That's what we take for granted, what we were able to get through, right? We take for granted our resilience and our grit and our ability to carry on and our ability to love ourselves. And this is a reminder, right?
It's a short ride. Why not have fun? Why not come from a place of knowing that you're absolutely amazing?
Exactly.
And you are, Nurse Sherry. Absolutely amazing.
And so are you, Nurse Mark.
Apple right now is absolutely amazing.
Oh, well, there you go. And I have a cup of peppermint, basil, rosemary. I forget what else is in here. Green Nurse Denise made me this beautiful herbal tonic for this morning, which is great because we're going to be talking about the microbiome later.
It's perfect. We're going to be talking about that.
Yeah. So for everyone, rise and shine, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. It is AFA time. Everyone be inspired, hope, inspiration, growth, and healing. We are here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good.
Yeah.
And be high. So not only am I starting my day off the AFA way, I'm really chatty because I want you to be able to eat your apple, Nurse Mark. So I'm going to tell you, here's another way I started off my day. Not only the Nurse Mark, but also some Nurse Mark CBD, which I'm going to take a dose right about now. Here we go, down the hatch.
Let's talk.
Daily love.
I was so hungry. It's so nice to have a delicious apple.
And it was so nice to hear you crunch.
Delicious. Hey, Ashley.
Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Happy Fry High Day. Fry High Day.
All right, let's start off with a little daily love.
All right.
Today it's about prosperity.
Ooh, I love that.
Here we go.
Here we go.
The richness of life surrounds me. Morning, Brian. We're going to talk about prosperity for the daily love today. Prosperity is mine to claim every time I notice the overflowing blessings all around me. If my narrow definition of prosperity limits its meaning to material wealth alone, I risk missing the richness of life. I can find prosperity everywhere. The more I am able to see, the more I will discover. Perhaps I am rich in friendships, or I experience a burst of outpouring of creativity. I may notice the bounty of beauty in nature or feel the unconditional love of a beloved pet. I might enjoy the luxury of a moment of stillness during a busy time, or the sensory richness of a delicious meal. When I open my mind and heart to the world around me, I become ever aware of how I abound in prosperity.
Nurse Mark.
It's not all about the money.
Here it is. And I can give you an example. You know, I love giving examples. So knowing the blessings, right?
Yeah.
Your message is in the mess, is what I like to say. Knowing the blessings. Don't miss the richness of life outside of money. Yes. Right? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm having some financial struggles, but guess what? I'm not dwelling on it. I'm doing the best I can with what I have right here, right now. And my life is it is richer. I've listened, truly, I've grown up, grew up privileged and was, taken care of, and then, working, and then all of a sudden getting sick and ill and losing money, losing my ability to generate income, and thinking, right, that I'm poor. Well, of course, poor health, poor me, the whole, poor me, whatever. But what ended up happening, this is the part that's so cool. Cannabis, when it came into my life, opened up and shifted my perspective. This wonderful, glorious plant came in and helped me to realize, opened up the door to new possibilities that weren't there before because I couldn't see it because I was in the blinding
listen, they were there the
headlights.
whole time. You just couldn't
He was
see
there.
them. It's exactly
I
what you
couldn't
said. You had
see
the
it.
blinders on. It's like, oh, woe is me. I don't have take the
And
all of a sudden.
I was
Yeah, but that's just how
spiraling
we
down.
operate, right?
Yes, spiraling down the drain of despair. So cannabis
Yeah.
opened up consciousness. My
Mhm.
head cracked open, consciousness poured in. I was pulled out of the story. You know, that
Right.
hope cannabis brought me, the
Mhm.
inspiration, being in spirit to do something different,
Yeah.
growing in health by using this plant. And then, seriously, a lot
Mhm.
of patients, what we teach and educate on is sometimes patients will say, oh, you know, I didn't get anything done. I go, listen, if you got up and opened up your eyes today, that's a blessing.
That's a
If you can get
blessing.
yourself to the bathroom to wash your face and wash your hands and brush your teeth, that's a
Mhm.
blessing. You know,
Oh, yeah.
take each moment of gratitude for every little tiny thing that you can do. Instead of focusing on
So
what you
much
can't
richer.
do,
Yeah.
yes, focus on what you can do. And that's how I'm
Mhm.
relating this awesome daily love to the
Yeah.
endocannabinoid system, right?
It ties in. It certainly does.
Yeah.
Absolutely does. So today, Friday, June 4th, I'm just gonna look at all the blessings I have in my life. I mean,
I know. And
seriously,
Mark, I'm
I
looking at
could
one right
always
now.
I can
You're a
always
blessing.
point out some of the crappy things that are going on, right? There's always something that
Yeah.
you can point to that's just not the way
There's
you want
so
it to be.
there's always something. So like
There's
my son
always
says, it's just
Guess
another
what? There
thing.
always will be. There'll never be this perfect, nirvana, except,
Right.
when you return to spirit and then, you know but think about it.
Yeah.
That can get boring too. Being
It
in
can be
eternal
boring.
bliss can get awful friggin' boring, so, hey, I'm gonna come back again. This is a lot of fun, right?
Well,
So
well,
anyway.
there it is. Well, Mark, that's what we need too, is we need polarity. You know, a lot of people are like,
Mhm.
you know, we love unity consciousness, but really, truly, in order for you to understand the light, you have to experience dark. How can you
You have to
truly,
have both.
truly understand? It's the pendulum, right? And so the
Mhm,
goal is to not have the pendulum swing like that, right? From happy to sad.
mhm,
So it's like
mhm.
narrowing. The pendulum is always going to swing, but how can we make it
Right.
a little bit less dramatic and a little bit more
So today
balanced,
today,
right?
Sherry,
Like
let's
flipping
just
the
look for
coin.
blessings. Like
It's a
blessings, we have
blessing. So
people we
I've
have people we have people joining us here today. That's a huge
I
blessing.
know
You guys are all
Ashley and
blessings for
Brian.
me, so thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate
Yes.
it. Yeah.
So I got to tell you, this morning,
Yep.
rose and shone early, and I was pulling some cards, and I decided to. I said, "What can I pull a card today? Should I pull a
Oh, fuck
card
yeah.
today?" And I'm
What do you
shuffling
got for a card?
and going through the box, and literally before the show began, it pulled out Dragonfly. Transformation, magic, illusion. Okay, so pulled a card. Dragonfly is my spirit animal, which is really cool. I started seeing this when I was healing using cannabis. And I was sitting out in the woods and bugs would come all around me and I'd take pictures of them. Anyways, so
Mhm.
Dragonfly. This card is reminding you to use creative imagination as a force within your life. It can transform your world. When you utilize your mind in this manner, you're actively expanding yourself psychically. Do not allow
Mhm.
illusion to hold you back. Know that nothing is permanent or set in
Uh-huh.
stone. You can change your life. Dragonfly, weaver of dreams, is the symbol of transformation and new visions. There you
Okay.
go. New
There
visions.
we are. Transformation and new vision. All right.
So
Let's talk
we're
about
we're getting back to how we can transform our guts.
let's talk about transforming our guts. Let's talk about the
Yeah.
microbiome. Listen, we talked about it on
Yeah.
Wednesday and how,
Hmm.
cannabis absolutely has a positive effect on our microbiome, all of those little marvelous critters that are living inside of us. Actually, more of
Yeah.
them than is of us, right?
Of us. Yeah, exactly. Well,
Yep.
Mark, what did you say? Give the analogy. I love this. The little bugs and thugs, you know, the microbiome, the
Yeah.
viruses and the bacteria that are healthy, that are living, fungus in
Yeah.
our bodies.
Mhm.
The Men in Black scenario. You gave a
Oh
really
my
cool
gosh,
analogy. I
yeah,
love it. So
that's
just give that
it
analogy.
does, it reminds me of that scene in Men in Black where he opens up the locker and inside are all these little tiny aliens, and they turn and they look and they say, "Ah, it's you, it's God," because he put a watch in there and he was the keeper of the time, right? So That's what I think of, is like, we are the universe for all of these little microbiome, all of these little bacteria that we need, by the way, it's a
Yes.
symbiotic relationship. They need
Yep.
us and we need
And
them.
we need them.
When they're
Yes.
not present, we talked about it on Wednesday. When they're not present, you're in dire
Unhealthy.
straits.
Well,
Like,
here it is
you
too.
know.
It's the same thing. It's like the polarity that we just talked about, right?
Yeah,
So there are some beneficial bacteria,
right.
viruses, and fungus that live in
Yeah.
our body, and there
Mhm.
are others that aren't, that can cause disease, or they're pathological or disease
Right.
promoting,
Right.
right? So the big takeaway from Wednesday is a healthy microbiome positively affects mood, energy production, and our immune system. In
Yeah.
the studies that we presented, which weren't a lot, but they were still there,
Mhm.
100% effective with cannabinoids, keeping the microbiome in homeostasis. So there's
Bingo.
right? There you
Yep.
go. That's what all about.
It is. And it's big, you
Yeah.
know what? It's big business. Probiotics is a big business.
Oh, it's a huge
They're
business.
effective, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you can do to maintain a healthy microbiome?
Yep.
Cannabinoids,
So,
right?
oh yeah, totally. Totally.
Absolutely.
Um,
Positively.
yeah, there's a lot of different things. So cannabinoids are one of them.
Yep.
Probiotics, which we talked about. I'm on a ton of probiotics. They
Yep.
really work. And
Mhm.
we're going to do a show on that because there is a whole research about probiotics and the endocannabinoid system and exactly what it does. But
Yeah.
fermented foods,
Uh-huh.
whole foods, adaptogens,
Yep.
Ayurvedic herbs. So
Mhm.
all these things you think about, it's all stuff that you're consuming into your
Mhm.
body, right? The feeding. So just think of all those little aliens in your body
Yeah.
saying, feed me health, feed me health, feed me cannabinoids, help me,
Oh,
to
yeah.
stay healthy and flourishing. So anyway, so besides the cannabis, the
Yeah.
supplements, the foods, the probiotics, well,
Uh-huh.
we're going to talk about supplements, foods, probiotics, and prebiotics. Because
Prebiotic.
when I first started studying this, I was like, what is a prebiotic? I mean, come on,
Right.
pre. But
Yeah.
it's really interesting.
It is. And so powerful. Good morning, Beth. Thanks for joining. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about
Yeah.
probiotics.
Yeah. Well, what are they, Mark?
Yeah, well, it's bacteria that are beneficial to the gut health, and they're found in some foods and definitely, of course, in the supplements that are for sale out there.
Yes. Yes.
What
So
about
here's the
prebiotics?
interesting, well, prebiotics I think are really cool. So
Yeah.
prebiotics are the food that the
Uh-huh.
probiotic bacteria live off of. So they're a type of carbohydrate which the human body can't digest, which I find is very, very interesting.
Mm.
So a lot of times, some of these prebiotics have what they call a fructooligosaccharides, which is a form of soluble fiber, a water-soluble carbohydrate that cannot be digested by the human body. And it occurs naturally in some plants, including asparagus, onions, leeks, bananas, garlic, legumes, wheat, chicory root, and Jerusalem artichoke. So
Woo! Getting
right? So these
hungry.
are, I know, right? So
Yeah.
the cool thing about this is, so these are types of prebiotics. And what they do is they protect our gut from unhealthy bacteria. They can help to suppress a toxic bacteria that's been
Mhm.
associated with food poisoning and other food related illnesses. But the
Yeah.
issue, some people can't tolerate these. These
Mhm.
types of foods. You'll hear people say, "Oh, I can't eat bananas. It upsets my digestive tract."
Right.
"Oh, I can't eat this, wheat, garlic." So it just depends upon the person. But
Mhm.
if they have a side effect of this fructooligosaccharides that is found in these different foods, what
Right.
happens is people can feel bloated, cramping, abdominal discomfort, and gas, right? And so they have limited tolerance to fructose or lactose.
Mhm.
And those that already have irritable bowel syndrome, it can aggravate it,
Sure.
right? But the good news is with these fructooligosaccharides is that it can stimulate all good bacteria in the colon. So it can do both. It can
Right.
stimulate good bacteria and bad bacteria. So that's why we talk about homeostasis. And it's not just one thing that you use to
Uh-huh.
keep your microbiome healthy. Would you agree with me, Nurse Mark?
I absolutely would agree with you.
All right. There you
So,
go.
yeah. So
And
what are
now
some
we
of
got
the
a cool list.
consumables, Cher? We got yogurt,
Yeah.
right? It's the best known dietary source of probiotics and has other benefits, right? Because it's high in calcium, has some proteins, it has potassium in it. And the next one, oh my gosh,
You
Sherry,
know,
this is like one of my
sauerkraut.
favorites.
Is
I
it?
would eat sauerkraut every day. I absolutely love it. So sauerkraut's an excellent source of probiotics. Has great fiber, manganese, potassium, iron, calcium, vitamin C. It's also high in sodium, but I like sodium. I really do. I'm not going to malign sodium.
Yeah.
What are
Yeah.
the next ones, Cher?
So miso, which is
Oh,
interesting.
another favorite.
It is a favorite, miso soup. It's a probiotic paste
Huh?
that's made from fermented soy, and it's used in many kinds of Japanese and Asian foods. And what I like about that is it's high in iron. I don't eat a lot of meat, so
Yeah.
high in iron, B vitamins, and sodium as well. A
Oh,
little bit of
so
sodium.
mm,
Yeah, really good. And then kefir. I
mm.
drink kefir every single morning.
Do you
Um,
really?
yeah, yep. I really,
Uh-huh.
really, really like it a lot. It's kind
Mm,
of nasty, but it's like it reminds me, and we're going to be talking about kombucha, as we continue on. It
yeah.
reminds me of a creamy kombucha.
Mhm.
And so what it is, it's a probiotic made from fermented cow's milk. So it's similar to yogurt. It's rich in calcium and protein, and it's made with this kefir grain that contains live bacteria and large amounts of yeast that are beneficial to our health and our microbiome. So I do like that. It's literally, I feel like it's a gastrointestinal tonic for me to start off my day because I
Beautiful.
wake up feeling nauseous every day. So
And
anyway, so this is a good tool.
yeah.
Kefir.
And then we have kimchi, and let me tell you, my friend Dr. Dan Kang, Korean, he told me about his mom's kimchi stew.
Hmm.
I told him I am going to fly to LA, and after he described it, I said, I have to have some of your mom's stew. I have to have it. It sounds so delicious. So kimchi, it's a probiotic Korean national dish, and it's made with fermented cabbage and has a spicy, tangy flavor. And so it's an excellent source of probiotics and is also rich in fiber, vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, and the types of antioxidants commonly found in cruciferous vegetables.
Yes.
And I think with kimchi, the way they traditionally make it is they put it all in this ceramic vat, and then they bury it in the ground and they leave it there,
Oh, wow.
and it
Wow.
ferments, and then they dig it up and mm,
So I'm going to tell you, this is a funny story. The couple of times that I've had kimchi
mhm,
was at when I went to have hot pot or shabu. And
yeah.
so it's like soup, and you can get different flavors of the broth. And so I would get the Korean kimchi, and the stuff that I'd cook in it would absorb these spices. And I'm not even kidding.
So good and
I
good
would be
for you.
sweating, like literally, like the back of my neck, beads of sweat, my chest.
Yeah.
But it felt really good. It was like
Oh,
really, then
yeah.
you know, you start to eat something and you start to sweat and you're like, oh, I'm bumming that I'm sweating, but then you just keep eating it because it just,
It's so good. It's
yeah,
so good. All right, what's the
sweat
next
food.
one?
All right, hold on a second. Let me get to the next one. So tempeh, it's a probiotic rich
Mm,
food made from cooked and fermented soy. It has a nutty flavor. It's used in many vegetarian and vegan dishes. And
yeah.
besides its probiotic value, it is an excellent source of calcium, magnesium, potassium, and manganese. Right? Yeah, really
Ooh.
good. These minerals that are very, very
Oh,
effective.
oh, yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
then artichokes. Now here we're gonna be
Delish.
talking about prebiotics now. So
Uh-huh.
artichokes are a prebiotic type of a food. So
They
I'll let you
contain
talk about
prebiotics, right.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they
And so
contain those fructo oligosaccharides, right? They promote the
mhm,
growth of digestive bacteria and GI flora. And again, they're high in fiber, right? You keep that
yeah.
this is like a theme, right? High in
Mm,
fiber, magnesium, potassium, vitamin C, and manganese.
right.
Artichokes contain a compound known as cynurin, which
Mhm.
increases the bile production in the liver and in turn rids cholesterol from the body.
There you go.
Yay,
There you go.
artichokes.
All right. So for people that are tuning in and watching, we're talking about prebiotics, probiotics, and the endocannabinoid system and how it
Yeah.
improves the health of our microbiome. And microbiome is
Mm.
essential for inflammation, immunity, and brain health for sure.
For
So
life. Gotta
for
have
life,
it.
you gotta have it.
All right,
Exactly.
let's talk about stinky pea. Go ahead, share.
Stinky pea asparagus. Here we go. So
Yes.
asparagus is rich
Oh,
in dietary fiber, and it also includes those prebiotics, fructo oligosaccharides, which promotes probiotic growth.
Yep.
It's also high in so many different vitamins and minerals and
Oh,
really low in calories. So here's the interesting thing when we talk about stinky pea. We call it a minor niggle to eating asparagus, is that it contains sulfurous
oh yeah.
compound called mercaptan.
Uh-huh.
And so mercaptan, when it's broken down during digestion, gives urine that pungent odor. And if you've eaten asparagus, you totally
Got it.
know what we
Well,
mean.
you know,
Yeah.
this is probably gonna go down as one of my favorite shows of all time, Sherry, because we're talking about all of my favorite things to eat. Woo! All
Yeah.
right.
There you go.
And
Bananas.
here's something that I don't eat a lot of because
Yeah.
they're high on the glycemic index, which is a good thing. I don't eat a lot of them, and that's bananas.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
bananas. Hmm.
Mhm.
Well, I'm going to tell you, so, and it also, I'm going to tell you bananas for me, and every person's different. People like them at different stages, whether they're
Yep.
green and firm or yellow or brown spotted or rotten.
Yeah.
So everyone likes them a different way. But the interesting thing is the people that generally have had issues with digestion,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Bananas that are green or more firm are rich in that prebiotic fructooligosaccharides, which
Right.
contains pectin. And what that is it's resistant to starch for further aid in digestion. So
Mhm.
that can be a little bit troublesome to some people. But the
Mhm.
interesting thing about bananas that I like is that they're more ripe. I find that they digest a little bit easier. And they're an important source of copper,
Yep.
manganese,
Yep.
potassium is a big one. Always
Uh-huh.
hear people saying eat bananas after you work out, vitamin
Yep.
C and vitamin B6.
Whew. And
No,
now,
right?
ba, 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 we get to
Kombucha.
the one that we're gonna really dive in.
Rip into. Yeah. Yeah. So
Not
it's
literally diving into a vat of kombucha, but let's
yes.
talk about it. It's a live, raw, fermented probiotic tea made from black or green tea that contains both yeast and bacteria.
Yeah.
We're gonna cover kombucha in detail as you can make it safely at home. Sherry,
Yep.
let's dive in.
Yeah, let's dive in. So, kombucha can support our microbiome and the endocannabinoid system, and you can purchase that at a store and you
Mhm,
can make your own. But making your own, I'm not going to lie, you have to be very careful, very clean, because you don't want it to grow mold because you're growing something that's alive that you're going to be
mhm,
consuming.
mhm.
So, it originated in China, kombucha, and it has a slightly acidic taste. I have it right here. A lot of people find it appealing. And so
Oh,
the fermentation process of how you make this is really, really strong
mhm.
because it uses a lot of sugar. So the
Yeah.
high sugar content causes the formation of this Scooby. It's this thick gelatinous layer on the top, and it sits and floats in the tea. And it's a
Mhm.
symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. Okay,
Yeah.
so so it's interesting. That's really interesting about this. And we'll talk a little bit about how you can make it and how a
Yep.
bottle of this that you can purchase in the store, you can create your own Scooby to make your own. Really, really cool.
Mm.
All right. So the interesting thing, we have to talk about the good and the bad, right? We
Mhm,
talk about everything when it comes to it. So in terms of probiotic value, think about this. You ready?
mhm.
10 billion per gram. So they don't generally recommend people drinking more than 4 ounces a day, right?
Uh-huh.
So if people drink more than 4 ounces a day, it can cause a little bit of nausea,
Mhm.
right? So show and tell. So kombucha, I'm skipping around in my notes here.
Yeah, listen, bring out the big jar.
All right,
Let's
bring out
let's
the ring
mix it.
jug. Okay. So I'm gonna let you talk, and I'll talk.
Yeah, no,
So
my
what
god.
I did,
You
so
you
this is
you gotta
this
tell
is
me. You gotta talk about
and
it. Mhm.
we'll get into it. So
Yep.
this bottle of kombucha is refrigerated. So it's inactive because it's refrigerated, and the cold stops the metabolic process from the kombucha from
Mhm.
reproducing. So what you do to make your own is you take a jar. Let me just see if I can see myself really quickly.
Oh,
I got
yeah, you're
another.
looking good. I can see
All
you.
right.
Perfect.
So we
Yep.
have a jar here.
Yep.
We take the kombucha and we
Yep.
pour
Ooh.
just that much. It's not a lot, okay? Not a lot at
Yep.
all. And what I have people do is take a cheesecloth
Mhm.
or a couple layers of paper towels
Yep.
and you cover the opening and you put a rubber band around it. And the reason why is you don't want anything coming in here. So this jar has been sterilized, it's clean, right? Nothing has been in there. You
Yep.
pour this in, you put cheesecloth or a paper towel with a rubber band to keep it sealed.
Yep.
And then you sit it aside on the counter in the windowsill. It doesn't matter. I have mine like in the window. It's not in the bright sunlight.
Mhm.
But what ends up happening is that as it starts to get to room temperature, it starts to wake up. Okay. It's not dormant anymore. Right. And then it starts to create this little gelatinous, and it grows to the size of the jar. I have a jar at home. I'm up here in New Hampshire. And I obviously didn't travel with it because it's still fermenting, but it has this nice thick layer. So you let it sit until
Right.
it develops that gelatinous patty.
Mhm.
And it usually takes 1 to 2 weeks. And then after it develops that patty is when you make your tea. And so what you're going to do is you're going to make tea. So you use organic tea, either green or black tea, organic sugar. And I'll put a recipe up later because it's really
Uh-huh.
fun to do. You make the tea, you let the tea sit until it cools, and then you
Right.
pour the tea up to here and you cover it again, right?
Mhm.
And you let it sit for 2 weeks. So I'm going to just bottom line what happens in the easiest of terms without getting into the scientific information. So what ends up happening is the kombucha Scooby eats the sugar and the tea, starts that fermentation process, and the kombucha Scooby, I call it, poops out probiotics, live enzymes, B vitamins, lauric
Mhm.
acid, all of these live things that are beneficial to our microbiome. So I don't know if that makes sense to everyone. I've got a ton
Yep.
of notes. How
Yep.
am I doing?
Great. So
Doing
the
good?
fermentation process, it produces acetic acid, right, which is found in
Hmm.
vinegar. That's that tangy taste that you have, right? It tastes a
Right.
little bit. That's where it comes from.
Yep.
And there'll be trace levels of alcohol because you're fermenting, and
Yes.
alcohol, ethanol is a byproduct of fermentation. So you'll have
Right.
a
If
little
you
bit
don't,
of that, and there'll be
but
other
you don't
gases
get drunk
taken
on it.
in
I
carbohydrates.
haven't
No,
heard of anyone getting intoxicated drinking kombucha, so
no, no,
which is interesting.
nope,
But the
not at all.
benefits, Mark, which are so cool,
Ooh,
is, I mean, just think about this. You're creating something you can purchase in a store and then you can make your own. And so just think about the probiotics that provide nutrition to your gut health,
right.
healthy bacteria, the microbiome, improves immunity, right?
Yep.
Improves digestion,
Mm.
decreases inflammation. And actually, people have used this for weight loss,
Yep,
you know?
absolutely, and then you get B vitamins, right? And that they bathe the central nervous system.
Oh,
Ah, gotta have
B
your B vitamins.
vitamins.
Yep,
I mean, B vitamins are crucial and essential for, I'm not even gonna, for everything, for energy, metabolism, cardiac health, really,
right.
really works good. So B vitamins, when you're tired,
Yep,
lift you up. And when you're anxious, calm you down. So they work in synergy. I always say B vitamins know where to go and know what to do, and they do their thing,
yeah.
So anyways, the
Next
B
one I
vitamins for
love.
the win.
I
Yeah.
love the next one, right? Because
Hmm.
lauric acid treats viral infections, including flu, common cold, fever, blisters, cold sores, genital herpes, genital warts, human papillomavirus, HIV/AIDS, right? Sherry, are you telling me that you literally, like, pour this on genital warts and herpes, and is that what's going on here? I don't know.
No, I think
What
it's drinking
I'm
it.
confused now.
So yeah, so basically with all of these different things here from the
Mhm.
inside out. So right,
Yeah.
so
So you're talking
herpes is a
it's gonna have an effect on the actual virus.
yes,
Yeah.
on the actual virus. So
Mhm.
as you know, when you have genital herpes, herpes 1 or herpes 2, it generally
Yep.
lies dormant in your body
Yep.
until you hit a stressor or something happens or you're
Right.
exposed to another virus or a
Yeah.
bacteria, and
Yeah,
then
I
it
mean,
manifests.
right at the root of the nerve, right? The virus just sits dormant at the root of the
Sits
nerve, and
dormant.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, so you'll hear people, if they have herpes, they'll have herpes flares and they'll generally go on Valtrex for 5 to 7
Yeah, and
or
then when we're
2 weeks,
talking
however they do
something
it.
like shingles, right? Chickenpox
Yes,
shingles. Yeah.
exactly.
It
Genital warts, the
yeah.
human papillomavirus. So you think about genital warts are viruses.
Right.
So all warts are. So if you think
Mhm.
about taking in a substance that can prevent that, so can
Mhm.
provide you with what? With healthy gut bacteria,
Yeah.
improves immunity, right? You think about all of that, decreasing inflammation, provides
Uh-huh.
more of a homeostasis and helps your endocannabinoid system.
Yeah.
What is going to happen? You're not going to manifest. You're not going to have as many breakouts. I'm not saying that this is a hard-born fact, but in experience,
Mhm.
this is what some of the studies have shown.
Cool. Other
Yeah.
benefits.
Mhm. All right.
Polyphenols that are in green tea. They act
Yeah.
like antioxidants, right? So it may provide some of those benefits as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Drinking
And then
green tea regularly. Increase the number of calories you burn, reduce belly fat, improve cholesterol levels, help with blood sugar control, and more.
yeah. And the green tea is huge. So when
Yeah.
I'm making my kombucha, I definitely use green tea.
Yep.
And it also shows that people that consume green tea regularly have a reduced risk of prostate, breast, and colon cancers.
Mhm.
And then the antioxidant, antibacterial. So, especially when you're making it with green tea, antioxidants, are present in the green tea. And then, obviously it's in the kombucha. And so antioxidants fight free radicals, and free radicals are reactive molecules that can damage our cells. I could say it
Mhm.
calls our cells to rust and contributes to inflammation.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Antibacterial, right?
Yeah.
Goes
Yeah.
back to kombucha and the acetic acid.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
even with black or green tea too,
Right.
can gives it that stronger antibacterial properties.
Yeah.
All right, so a little bit more studies, and we're wrapping it up. So
Wrapping it up.
kombucha. So some of
Yep.
the things too that it showed is kombucha may reduce heart disease by improving cholesterol results, by
Mhm.
decreasing the cholesterol or LDL,
Yeah.
and increasing the good cholesterol, which is the HDL.
Yeah.
So green tea drinkers. So just imagine if you're drinking green tea and then you're making your kombucha. If you think about
Mhm.
this, they have a 31% lower risk of developing heart disease.
That's pretty big.
That is big.
31%. That's a big number.
30. Yep. So even if you just think about it, even if you have a cup of tea, green tea, and then the next day you have your green tea
Mhm.
kombucha, so just regularly getting just a little bit of this in.
Yeah.
What do we want to do? We want to improve our odds of living as long as possible, right?
Right.
And these are another tips and tricks. So kombucha also with type 2 diabetes. This is the thing that's another good one.
Right.
Benefit.
Yeah. Slows down the digestion of carbs, and that reduces blood sugar levels, right?
Hmm.
It's that digestion of the carbohydrates that creates that glucose in the system, so slowing that down will help regulate blood sugar levels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have improved liver and kidney function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All right.
same thing to protect against cancer. So high
Mhm.
concentration of these tea polyphenols that we talked about and
Yep.
antioxidants help prevent the growth and the spread of cancerous cells. You
Yeah.
know,
And it's thought that polyphenols block gene mutation in the growth of cancer cells while also promoting that apoptosis or cancer cell death.
yeah. Yeah.
Summary. Let's wrap it up,
Summary.
Cheryl.
Here we go. We're wrapping it up. Fun fact Friday. Everyone go get their Scooby for next week. We're gonna see how they grow. So the bottom line, kombucha, is a probiotic rich tea with many health benefits, right?
Yep,
It's healthy when made properly if you're going to make it at home. And that's why if you
absolutely.
purchase it in stores or you make it in home, but if you're going to make it at home, make sure that you prepare it properly,
It's gotta
right?
have clean environment, clean workspace, clean hands. You wanna prevent mold and bugs. Well, I mean, fruit flies love kombucha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And so when we're recommending too for people to start off with a small bottle,
yep,
a tiny bit, like you make your tea like this, just so you can get the feel of it and you're not wasting it. So you'll maybe be able to drink this, and then
mhm,
this here will start to brew, right? Small batches
right,
is really important to keep it, mold
mhm,
free.
mhm.
So study wise, there aren't a ton of studies on kombucha. However, there is a ton of evidence for the benefits of tea and probiotics, both which are found in kombucha.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, but it's unpasteurized, and it does contain small amounts of caffeine and alcohol, so if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, you should avoid it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what's the
Mm.
takeaway?
Takeaway, besides cannabis, when we talk about the endocannabinoid system,
Uh-huh,
kombucha to me is a supporter of the endocannabinoid system. So
mhm,
besides cannabis, supplements, food, probiotics, and prebiotics, we have found that kombucha, like we said, contains probiotics and is beneficial to us, our
yes,
endocannabinoid
it
system. It's
is.
just another tip and a trick and a fun fact, something that you can go out today and
Happy,
purchase
healthy
and
pet.
try.
Yeah.
Happy, healthy Fry High Day.
Fry High Day. All right. So listen, folks, 9 a.m. today. You know what's going to happen. Frequency Friday. Ooh, that energy's going to flow.
And it's flowing already. Look at this. I got it going. Healy.
Nice.
Healy bioenergetic
Uh-huh.
microcurrent frequency device that provides
Hmm.
frequencies, vibration, and microcurrent. So we're going to talk about that in the Green Nurse community. And you're going to
Yeah.
be able to have an experience as we do a demonstration and we vibe you right through Zoom. Seriously, we do.
Be
Fun.
there. 9
Be
a.m.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget June 12th. It's coming up. Noon to 4:20. Yeah.
It's going to be a
Activate
really,
your endocannabinoid system down here on the farm with the green nurses. It's gonna be amazing.
it is going to be amazing. And,
So
and just so, yeah, we're putting up a schedule. So there is an
Yep.
Eventbrite link. And we've
Yep.
been posting regularly on the different things that are gonna be there at the farm.
Uh-huh.
So keep checking, get your ticket. The first 20 people that purchase, actually, we're almost surpassing that. We've got a lot of people that are donating products, but the people that come, you get to have an experience. You get to understand and learn that are products that are right there, an experiential consumption table, education table, talk about the endocannabinoid system, cannabis yoga. We're going to have it all.
Yeah, we're going to have it. So can't wait to see you there. Can't wait to see you at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And, gosh, you guys, you are blessings. So
you are. Thank you for
joining us. How can I not have
us.
an AFA day now that I've seen all of you? Thanks for stopping by. I know, you are blessings to me. Sherry, you're a blessing to me too.
No, Nurse Mark. Some days I wonder.
Always a blessing.
I wonder. Okay, good.
You gotta tell
Thank
me.
you.
From Lake Ossipee, New Hampshire.
Lake Ossipee, New Hampshire.
What's it all about?
It's all about living your best life, helping others do the same, and decreasing stigma around what it means to feel good. Y'all deserve to feel good, and we love you.
Happy Fry High Day, everybody. We'll see you soon.